Hi, everybody. This is Alan Fine, and this is a virtual roadshow. This particular episode is how you can better sell the new Palaces of the Sea. With us today is John Diorio, who's the Vice President of North American Sales for Virgin Voyages. Say hi, John. And,
Hello. Hi, John. Oh, sorry.
oh, no, that's good. Simon said. Simon didn't say. Okay. And Anthony Maloro, who's the Director of Business Development Support, Trade and Host Travel Partner Relations for Royal Caribbean. And
Hello, Anthony.
I made sure to take a deep breath so I could get that all out.
It's a lot of
It's a big title for a little guy, yeah.
So we got an interesting little matchup here. This panel is about larger ships, but in this case, we have a medium and we have large ships, and we also have adults versus family and kids. So I'm looking forward to the discussion. So let's start with Anthony. Can you just give us an overview, like no one's ever heard of Royal Caribbean? like
we are a new brand.
What you offer, how many ships, and you know the drill.
A newer brand, I know, but here's what I will say is that Royal Caribbean International is really, I like to think of it as rated E for everyone. We've been delivering innovation at sea for over 50 years. Each new class of ship that we put out there is an architectural marvel, features the latest technology, guest experiences for today's adventurous traveler. We sail to over 240 destinations in 61 countries on 6 continents. One most famously is Perfect Day at Coco Cay in the Bahamas, and one of our highest rated ports of call. And we're also really proud to be voted for the past 20 consecutive years, best cruise line overall in the Travel Weekly Reader's Choice Awards. We have 26 ships in our fleet, and we have 2 more on the way in 2024.
Okay. Now, I did hear you say E for everyone, and I saw John grab a pen. So, so he made a note. So tell us about Virgin Voyages.
Well, look, I got to lean into Anthony's brilliance there and the creativity. So obviously I'm with Virgin Voyages. I would say we're rated A for adults. How about that? That's where I was kind of going with the pen. I had to write that down before I forgot that.
I knew it.
I was like, that's a brilliant answer on Anthony's part. Rated E. I'm going to go with A for adults. Well, look, so if you don't know who Virgin Voyages, we are really the new kid on the block. We've been sailing now almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years starting in August. And I think, what really separates us is that obviously we are an exclusively adult only experience. We have 3 ships sailing at the moment. Our 4th is coming at the end of this year. So we're really excited about that. And I think for us, it's really kind of our approach is kind of taking that boutique hotel experience and putting it on the ocean. And that's really what we set out to design. We are a medium-sized ship, purposely designed that way. And it's really about creating those kind of unique voyages and those unique sailing experiences for adults, of 18 years or older. And we're really proud of what we've done over the past couple of years. Just recently winning the Travel and Leisure Best Cruise Line Award for 2023 as voted by the readers, and a whole bunch of other awards. So it's been great to watch the evolution of our brand, but we're not 26 ships, we're 4, but we're thrilled to be in this amazing industry, and we're thrilled with all the travel advisors who's actually helped us get to where we are today.
You both have great products. And so the question is, we've got, travel advisors watching this and they're trying to figure out which client goes where. So let's start with and lean into the advantages of the size. Is larger better? In some cases, yes. Is smaller better? Yes. So Anthony, start with that, please. Talk about size.
Yeah, I would say that, in a word, it provides options, right? So we actually never set out to build the largest ships in the world. We do listen to feedback from our guests, what they're asking for. They want more activities, they want more dining options and entertainment, as well as bringing them to those world-class destinations. And so we take this feedback, we work it into the design of our ships. And what I will say is that, for the travel advisors that are listening, your clients are going to tell you what they're looking for in a vacation. and your job is to match that up with the product that best suits their needs. And so having these large ships really enable us to provide a variety of activities and destinations that meet your clients' needs and give them that vacation of a lifetime.
Okay. And John, so mid-size.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
For us, I think when we like, as you think about how we were building this brand from day one, a lot of what we were looking for came from just years of research. What did an adult only experience need to look like? And this isn't a market that obviously caters to everybody. Obviously, we're an 18 and older crowd. And so we were really content on finding that balance, right? We knew it needed to be big enough, but not too big. It couldn't be too small, so that we could do the activations we wanted from entertainment and kind of a unique dining experience. And I think from the size of our ship, so all 4 of our ships are identical in size. So what that allows us also to do is, with that size of a medium-sized ship, we're 110,000 gross tons. That allows us to go to some very interesting ports of call that we couldn't otherwise do, depending on the size of the ship. So we're really happy with where that sweet spot is for us, as being that kind of mid-size ship, for lots of reasons. But it really started with the feedback from our sailors and from travel advisors on what would be unique in the marketplace for us.
I have to say that, I mean, Royal Caribbean absolutely has tremendous variety. It's just, there's so much, but Virgin Voyage is no slouch either. And there's variety there as well. But right behind you, Anthony, is one of the hallmarks. I mean, that's not an adults only island. That is a family island. So let's talk about the differences now, the E versus the A. Anthony, please.
Yeah, and so obviously, Perfect Day at Coco Cay is one of our hallmark destinations, actually the highest rated destination that we have in our fleet. Of all of those 240 destinations that we spoke to, Perfect Day at Coco Cay is by far the most requested and sought after. And well, yes, you can see the water slides back there, and we've got our hot air balloon, and there's a ton of activities for families, but we are introducing Hideaway Beach, which will be an adult only option. So I feel like, with Royal Caribbean, we do offer those options, but clearly with the Virgin Voyage experience, that is catering to an adult only feel. And so if you have clients that are okay with being around kids, and one of the advantages of having a really large ship with options is it gives you spaces for everybody. And so you can truly go to a space on board Icon of the Seas, for example, and have an adult only experience, and kind of live within that neighborhood, if you will, and really kind of bounce back and forth. Whether we love our families and our kids, John, we know this, but we don't necessarily want to spend every single minute of every day. So, we give ourselves some options here.
Well, that's the whole advertising campaign there. But I'll also say that, even though Royal Caribbean has large ships, the person that wants to find the smaller, quieter area, you have those spaces too. So that variety is there. But now, John, you have the great ads with the kids saying, please don't leave us at home. Talk about the adults only experience.
For us, it was, if you think about, as Virgin came into the marketplace, look, we knew there were already great brands out there in the cruise industry, Royal being the top of that list. And so we didn't want to come in to create just another cruise line, right? So we had to find some way of this being very different. And for us, it was about having that exclusively adult only experience. And it wasn't just because we said that's what we should do. It really started, like the design of our ships, what research told us, like to come into the marketplace to do something a little different. And it's part of, not so much, it's part of the Virgin Group culture. Like, as you think about Richard and the different industries he's come into, it was about, how can you do something a little bit different? You think about what he did with Virgin America and tweaking things and doing the air a little bit different and things like that. So we kind of followed that same kind of blueprint And what we know is that adults wanted that adult only experience. And I like to tease and say, look, and you go on a vacation with your kids, it's a trip. When you go on a trip with just your partner and it's just adults, that's a vacation. So no doubt there are great spaces on Royal, right? And my kids love CocoCay. They want to go back tomorrow if they can. But I think what we did on Virgin was really kind of create that unique adult only experience. And we talk about adult only, it's not just you got to be 18 or older, obviously. But what we're finding is we're seeing a big growth in adults bringing their adult kids, that 18 to 22-year-old age group. They might still be on mom and dad's payroll, but they definitely they've kind of aged out a bit of what they've done in the past. So I think Virgin kind of brings that unique experience of going with mom and dad on this experience. But it's also the way we've curated the experiences on the ship. It is with adults in mind, and not having to be able to cater to all age groups.
Actually, I don't. Do you target any particular adult? And then I'm going to ask Anthony: who do you target? Not just families. There's more.
For Virgin. Yeah, sorry, Alan. So for us, it's, when we look at the demographics of who's sailing, and we look about the targeting when we find those sailors that come on board, that sweet spot for us, is 30 to 60, right? And that doesn't mean if you're under 30 and over 60, you're not going to come on board and have an amazing time. But that age group is about 87% of our customers right there. And so when we think about targeting, it's not so much we're looking specifically for that age group. We're looking for sailors that are looking for a new experience. They're young at heart. They want to try something new. And this just works out really well for them. So we're seeing a lot of those that want to celebrate on board, right? They're coming for 40th and 50th birthday celebrations, honeymoons. They're coming for anniversaries. Really, any reason you want to celebrate, we're really a great fit for that. But that's what we're kind of seeing from the demographic side of things.
And Anthony, I think you got multi-gen, right? So it's a real wide demographic. Tell me more about that and what you target.
Well, and if I can go back just a moment, and I think that's what's so great about the cruise experience in general, because there's so many options out there. I think one thing I want to get across to our travel advisors is, qualifying your client is the single most important thing you can do. Ask that question, or ask questions like, what are you looking for in a vacation? Your client's going to tell you all you need to know, and really it's going to help you to match them up with the best option. So what you don't want to do, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is just kind of pigeonhole yourself into, well, if my client says they don't want kids, then they only want this experience. But on the other hand, be open and listening to those cues, because that experience on Virgin Voyages, to John's point, that vacation of sorts away from the kids and younger kids and family, is exactly what that client is looking for. So for us, the target audience, yes, multi-generation, but again, that means a lot of things to a lot of people. And again, just like John said, taking adult children on a vacation with you is a completely different experience than coming on board Royal Caribbean. Within that multi-gen option, I would say that we've got great grandma and grandpa all the way down to the great grandchild and everywhere in between. And because of the activities and amenities on board, those folks that want to be more active and go down the water slides can participate. Grandma and grandpa can spectate. And then everybody else can meet up after or during dinner and kind of talk about the day. So it really is focusing on that customer that wants kind of all of the above, if you will. And for those that truly don't want children in the picture, that's obviously a clear sign.
Because it was so much variety on a real ship. I mean, you could set yourself up in a nice suite and not see, but the problem is the kids are still there somewhere, and John's got that solution solved. So
That's
those
right.
are the two products that way. Let's talk about what's coming up. What's new for both of you guys? 23, the rest of the year, 24. Let's start with Royal Caribbean. What's coming up that's new?
Well, it's mind numbing. I have to say, after the
Right.
past 2.5+ years of, kind of watching and waiting, we are ecstatic to be bringing on Icon of the Seas. That's going to happen in January of 24.
Right.
That new ship debut is going to be kind of the combination of the best of every vacation. So imagine every family member and every type of vacationer being able to make those memories together on their own terms and without compromise, right? New neighborhood concepts. So for those that have cruised with us before, they know what that neighborhood concept is. But we're adding Thrill Island, so they're going to have a complete think of it as perfect day on board the ship with our water slides, Surfside, which is a completely family area that again could be self-contained with restaurants and shops right there within Surfside. Chill Island, if you want that more quiet area to kind of hide away from, you can do that. And then a reimagined area with our Aquadome, which is features the high dive water aerobics that you would normally see in the Aqua Theater, as well as our ice skating venue. Absolutely incredible. 7-night Eastern Western Caribbean year round from Miami. All of those itineraries will sail to Perfect Day. And then we just announced really huge news, the 6th Oasis class ship, which is Utopia of the Seas. That's going to debut in July of 2024. It is going to be the first ship of its kind to debut, offering the ultimate 3 and 4 day weekday getaways from Port Canaveral. So a ship that is going to offer over 40 dining and entertainment venues, two casinos, live music all across the ship. It's really going to transform that short cruise opportunity. And so much so that we've seen the highest booking opening in the history of 3 and 4 night cruises with Utopia. We've got guests that traditionally book really close in on this type of product are booking a year or more in advance. So those are all great news, not only for Royal Caribbean, but really for the industry in general. Again, all of those itineraries will call on Perfect Day. And then on the other side of things, as you know, with the island Perfect Day at Coco Cay, we do a really good job of building beautiful destinations. We're going to add to that Hideaway Beach at Perfect Day. Again, that's going to be an adult-only area. It's going to give us an additional capacity of over 3,000 guests that we can handle on Perfect Day. And then 2025, a little bit later on, is going to be the Royal Beach Club at Paradise Island. And that is going to be, think of it as the exclusive signature Royal Caribbean experiences at Paradise Island in our own private area on the beach, creating, again, that ultimate beach day. So lots going on.
All right. So, and John, you said you had the 4th ship coming, and then talk
Yeah.
about what's new and the itineraries.
Yeah, so I think about, what's new with us, obviously. So not just a few months ago in mid-May, we actually did launch our 3rd ship, Resilient Lady, sailing out of Athens, Greece. So we were really thrilled to get that ship in the water. I mean, it's really the 3rd ship we've launched in 18 months, which is really unheard of launching ships that quickly. But obviously, we've got the 3 ships sailing, and then we're really excited. Our 4th ship, Brilliant Lady, will start sailing at the end of this year out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. So, I think for us, we want to get to that 4th ship and honestly take a breather, because we weren't expecting to launch that many ships in such a compressed time. So we're excited about Resilient launching, and now obviously Brilliant Lady coming later this year. And as I look at the itineraries, we're doing some really unique things, especially over the summer. We have our Virgin Voyages kind of celebration voyage, and so we kind of looked at 50 years of Virgin Group experience, and we've got this amazing voyage on the 27th of August. Out of Athens, Greece. Richard Branson will be on, and some of the leaders from the different Virgin Group companies from around the world. So that's going to be a really great, unique experience. Like I said, Brilliant Lady, later this year, sailing Southern Caribbean on 2 different itineraries. And then there's always just what else we're doing in the Med. Our third ship, Valiant Lady, has some great itineraries out of Barcelona, with each of them with a unique overnight in Ibiza. So a lot of great choices for Virgin, but we're really excited about that fourth ship, with Brilliant Lady. But Resilient Lady, when she is done sailing in Athens in October, she actually makes her way on a 44-night journey all the way to Australia. And so Virgin's got a great brand reputation in Australia. So Resilient Lady will spend her winter down in Australia and doing a little bit of kind of the short market for the Australians, a few longer itineraries getting both Australia and New Zealand. So we're really excited to get those itineraries launched in December.
That's pretty good. That's really good. Now,
Yeah.
let's move on to dining experiences. And I'm going to start with you, John, because you have a lot of them, but
Yes.
then Anthony has 2 zip codes of restaurants. So we kind of need to, I mean, I'd like to allow you the time to talk about your specialty restaurants and everything.
Yeah.
And Anthony, go nuts. I want to hear everything. Okay, John.
I hope I can live up to it.
No, so you want me to go first, Alan? I
Yes,
think
please,
that's
yes.
what you heard. So,
Yeah.
For Virgin, I think, again, one of the key things we want to do to differentiate ourselves is how do we include more in that voyage fare? So for dining, all of the dining is included when you sail with us. So we've got 20 plus eateries on board the ships, 6 full-blown restaurants, and those 6 restaurants are always included in your voyage fare. You don't have to pay to dine in any of those restaurants. And so that was purely how we designed that dining experience. It started with those 6 restaurants, and we kind of moved out from there to give our sailors a lot of different options and not having them have to figure out what time they wanted to eat always. It also started with that dining concept that we don't have buffets on the ship as well. Everything is made fresh to order. And so you really can kind of pick and choose what you want, when you want, not have to pay extra for it when you come on board the ship. And so some of those unique dining experiences are Gun Bay, where they have the first Korean barbecue restaurant at sea, really more of a lively type of experience. And I think, my personal favorite is Pink Agave. It's our upscale Mexican restaurant. And what I love about Pink Agave is it just actually won the Wave Award for the best dining venue on any cruise ship. And so we were up against some really great kind of luminaries in the culinary world, and we were thrilled to see our travel advisor community vote for Pink Agave as the best dining venue this year. So a lot of different things throughout when it comes to dining. We actually just introduced on Resilient Lady kind of our very first kind of dinner theater type of experience, which does have a small cost to it, but it's a very unique dining and show experience where we've introduced this amazing kind of menu where that's got this Indian themed infused menu, and it's just going over gangbusters on Resilient Lady at the moment. So that's really been the theme of our dining experience, is how do we include everything in that voyage fare and making sure that we really deliver a unique experience. All those 6 restaurants have their own executive chef, they have their own executive kitchens, and it really helps work well for us.
Anthony, John couldn't follow. So I wanted you to finish.
I know. Thank you for
I don't
that.
know
It'd be horrible.
honestly.
It'd be horrible. But I mean, you just said 40 on the new ship restaurants. Give us an inkling.
Restaurants and
I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'll be right back.
Right.
No. It's really simple, right? So here's the thing. In terms of food and food options, obviously all of our ships have endless food options and dining options. And you're going to hear me say that word a lot. It's all about option. And one of the things that we ask our customers and our guests is, what is it that you're looking for in that dining experience? And so it's really important for travel advisors to not only highlight the meals included aspect, because whether it's the main dining room, we have various a la carte areas, grab and go options, buffet. There's tons of options that are included. But what our guests also wanted us to be able to provide, and they're willing to pay for these experiences, are those specialty type restaurants. And so think of it this way, where anybody can go to a steakhouse on land, and anybody can go to a food type restaurant on land, but you may not be willing to spend a couple $100 to try that. Whereas on board a ship, you really do have that freedom and that ability to try something very different. You may or may not be able to experience that on land, but you're able to do it on ship at a fraction of the cost, right? So really more of like a gratuity than anything else. And our guests want those options to be available to them. So when we talk about Icon, yeah, over 20 different dining venues. Food halls are extremely popular right now, and we're going to actually have a food hall concept on board Icon. So you're going to have options for people to be able to go grab a really high quality food item that they want at any moment of the day, no matter where they are around the ship. Every neighborhood will have various themed type restaurants, both complimentary and additional fee. For example, we're going to have like a food truck, if you, for lack of a better way to describe this, a food truck on board that people will be able to go to in Central Park for izumi, sushi, and food of the like. So, I mean, I know we are limited on time, and we have, I could spend the next 20 minutes going through the different restaurants where we're going to be adding a supper club on Icon. The restaurants that you'll see on Utopia, again, more geared towards that short cruise, more of a quick grab and go. And grab and go doesn't mean that the quality is less than. If anything, these are really elevated experiences. And I think the last point I really want to kind of drive home to our travel advisors is, again, highlighting that meals included aspect, but also sharing the fact that there are other options available, not as, oh boy, I'm going to get hit for a cost on this or that, but the fact that it's available. It's not put in your face. It's there and available. And if you say, you know what, it is worth it for me to try this type of a venue or this type of a meal, I may or may not do that on land. I'm going to do it on my vacation. It's really going to bode well as you, again, continue to more deeply qualify that customer. And when they come back, you want them to come back and say, man, you nailed it. Everything that I mentioned that I wanted in a vacation, you checked off all those boxes and then some.
Right. So this is just as loaded a question because you've got Virgin as an entertainment company at one facet of it, and there's so much entertainment on Royal Caribbean. You pride yourself on it. Let's talk for a minute about entertainment. John, you have specialty. Well, you both have theaters that are designed for special effects and things.
Yeah.
John, talk about your entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment is, obviously, depending on who you are, there's different things that our sailors are looking for. And so as we took the approach for entertainment, it started first with our theater, right? Our theater is one of the first that actually can be transformed to allow us to create unique entertainment experiences on Our Lady ships. So that was kind of the fundamental first thing. How do we create a theater that allows us to change the style of the venue to create different types of entertainment? So it's not the consistent same setup. And so that was the first thing we did. And then I think our amazing entertainment leaders said, let's go find a group of the best producers out there to help us create unique entertainment. The one core belief we had is we didn't want to just create the same type of entertainment that is out there, whether it's on sea or on land. So we've created this group that we call them the Creative Collective. They're about 7 or 8 different producers and directors from the entertainment industry. And we said to them, this is the concept of our brand. It's an adult-only experience. This is the size of your theater. Create unique experiences for us on board the ships. And boy, they just ran with it. And we had so many amazing concepts, and we still have some of them that we want to continue to introduce. And we now have this concept of introducing different seasons of entertainment every single year. So we're in kind of season 2 for us. But I think it starts with, you said this, Alan, about Virgin having that kind of entertainment in its DNA. So live music is really, really a big part of the experience when you get on board our ship, music in general. So when you move around our ships, there's almost a different soundtrack in every different venue on board our ship, depending on that design of the ship. But live music specifically is really, really key for us. And so we try to create as much live music as we can throughout the ship, whether it's a 5-piece band or just an amazing artist playing guitar out on the dock. That's key. Scarlet Night is probably our most iconic entertainment event. On every single voyage, we have what we call Scarlet Night. The ship turns red. We have this amazing event up on our aquatic club where the pool is, and our entertainment team does an amazing job of just getting everybody really excited for Scarlet Night. And it kind of starts around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and slowly moves up to the pool deck area. But it's also some of the new things we've introduced recently on Resilient Lady Persephone is one of our brand new shows. And what's great about that is we take our theater and we get rid of all the seats. It's an open floor concept. We've got dual reality that takes advantage of our kind of alley runway style theater. And so there's so many different things we can do at our theater with our entertainment to create just something very, very unique. We're very, very passionate about these are events, these are entertainment shows that you will never see on land. These were specifically designed for Virgin Voyages.
Now, Anthony, when you're on a royal ship, it's like, do I want to see diving or ice skating? Or do I want to see drones? What do I want? Take us through.
Well, you've set me up perfectly. I would say
I tried.
I was going to start with a did you know? And did you know that Royal Caribbean actually runs one of the world's largest production studios in the world? It is based here in South Florida near our headquarters. And we have this environment where we create all of our shows from scratch. And all of the entertainers, and we hire over 1,600 cast members, 600 musicians. They all come together in this production studio to learn the different shows that they perform. And these are multi-purpose actors and performers, I'll say, because we are bringing folks in that are former Olympians, work in Broadway, and they have to be really good at a lot of different things because they may be doing the original production of Saturday Night Fever one night and then going off and doing an original production the next night. And then we have an aerial show where you'll see a lot of those same performers. So they are really multi-talented individuals. And we're the only cruise line to offer entertainment across 4 stages. And so what I mean by that is you have air. So we talked about aerialist shows, ice with our ice skating shows that are absolutely incredible, water with our aqua theater, and then of course on stage with original Broadway productions and performances and so on. These are all done simultaneously, if you will, on one vacation. So whether it's on a 3 or 4 night cruise or a 7-night or longer cruise, if you're on an Oasis class or now an Icon class ship, you're going to experience all of these stages in one vacation. And one of those scenarios where how could I possibly do that in a 7-day vacation if I were going on land, or even in an all-inclusive? And certainly not to bash those vacations, because we all take those as alternatives. But in terms of entertainment and in terms of something to do around every corner, these 4 stages enable us and allow us to do that in a very, very big way. The technology that we have, so on our Quantum class of ships, we have I'll call it a theater. It's a multi-purpose venue on the back of the ship, and it's walls of glass. And at night, that wall of glass turns into a video screen. And then we have these robotic video screens that are part of the performances that we have in that venue. And that's not a copy of something that you would see in Vegas or in New York City or anywhere like that. Those were created specifically by our entertainment team that's led by the incredible Nick Weir. And those are created and curated specifically for our ships. You cannot find that technology or entertainment anywhere else in the world. So, what I would say again to our travel advisors is when you're thinking about promoting a cruise option for your customer, whether they ask for it or not, cruising should always be put into the consideration because of the different options that a offers. And really, through listening to what they're asking for in a vacation, what their needs are, you can typically match them up with the cruise vacation that ultimately becomes the vacation of choice, regardless of whether it's on a cruise or land. So um, a lot to unpack there, but it truly is an incredible entertainment opportunity on board Royal Caribbean.
You both talked about special features of the ship. I know, John, you talked about the theater. Anthony, you've
Yep.
talked the glass wall becomes screen. Let's go back, John. What are the cool features of your ship? And Anthony, what are the cool features of your new ships that you want travel advisors to be aware of?
I think for us, it does start with that size of the ship and how we've designed it to be very intimate, right? So there's not a lot of large spaces on board the ship. So, like I said, you can move throughout our lady ships and just you go from different venues, and there's a unique vibe, there's a unique smell, there's a unique soundtrack to that. So I think that's something that's very unique to our ships of being more on that intimate side of things. But I think what I would say underlined everything that makes us successful in the awards we're winning, that I think is just a special feature for us, isn't so much the hardware, it's the crew. Our crew in my mind is our secret sauce. They have been trained to be engaging with our sailors. They're part of that experience. They're encouraged to be out and about and engage with our sailors. They are an extension of that experience. So, outside of the adult only side of things and outside of the hardware side of it, it is really our secret sauce is the software part of it. And that's really starts with our amazing crew on board our ships.
So, Anthony, do you want to talk about other features of the ship or talk about the crew? Whatever you think the travel advisors should hear.
Yeah, I don't think we can drive that point home enough, John, and really thank you for bringing it up, because without our crew on board delivering the products that we offer, there would be no product. All of the innovation, all the money that we spend, all of the entertainment, everything that we bring on board, if there is not a crew member to deliver that experience to the guest, it's just not going to happen. I'll tell you, we have the Bionic Bar on board some of our ships, and while it's fun to watch, there isn't that interaction with a human that not only can make your drink in a beautiful way, but then have a human connection with, and that's truly the difference. And while that's really fun to watch, and all, without
They
that
still go to a
crew.
regular bar right after. That was good.
Right.
Well, yeah. Oh, I got to try this once. I'm gonna check it out. But then they move right along. You're right. You're right. So I guess now that I've got that stated, and I just want to put that exclamation point to our crew. I guess I'll go off in a little bit of a different direction. And in terms of special features, while they may not be unique on our ships, what I am really proud of is the inclusive nature of our vacations, and really the catering to guests of all ability and disabilities, whether it's mobility, hearing, visual. We have access for guests with all of those types of disabilities, and those range from not only accessible staterooms with larger entry into the door, no easy roll in and roll out into the stateroom, onto a balcony, into the restrooms. But all of our pools have lifts, and jacuzzis have lifts that make this accessible to those guests. And then, of course, our activities. So in the main theater and in really all of the public areas around the ship, we have designated accessible areas for our guests, and it's not just tucked away in the back of the ship. These are, front and center. We actually have elevators because our theaters are multiple levels, and we have elevators that will take our guests in wheelchairs and scooters down to the lower level so that they can be part of the action. We also cater to any special diet, allergy requirements, medical needs. If there's durable medical equipment that's needed, those are items that we can procure for the guest. And so that's on the ship side of things. And what I'll say is for our travel advisors out there, to enable you or to help you sell to clients in your demographic and sell to those clients that you are serving, our DE&I initiatives, again, both shipboard and shoreside, really proud of that. We actually have a diversity page within our digital asset library on Cruising Power, and that gives our travel advisors access to hundreds of images, video, B-roll, so that they can really promote and speak to the specific clientele that they're focusing in on. So a little bit of a left turn there, but I wanted to be sure to highlight that.
It's a good one because it's not often said enough about Royal Caribbean, but it is, and DNA is used too often. It is part of the DNA of Virgin, the inclusiveness. So John, speaks for a moment about it as well. So thank you, Anthony.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. That's an amazing point. Yeah, look, I think when it comes to that in inclusivity side of things, for us as a brand, it's been part of the DNA of Virgin from 50 years ago. I spoke on a panel not too long ago and about this topic, and it goes back to Richard and as a teenager creating this environment in London. And to this day, it still resonates throughout the different Virgin companies around the world. So I do think, inclusivity is a big, big part. And we see it in our inclusivity scores, the awards we're winning for inclusivity. So it's core. People need to come on board, have the time of their life, and that's it. There's no anything else you need to worry about. Like, just come on and be yourself. And that's really, really important.
I think that's a great note for us to end on, but we do need to now give out some information. John, how can they get more information?
For Virgin Voyages, really simple. It's going to firstmates.com. That is our portal. Everything you need to know to do business with virginvoyages.com. Obviously, we have our award-winning Sea Academy training program linked there. But most importantly, when I think about people, it is our amazing sales team that is there to support you both in the field and also behind the scenes on our support side. We want to help you. We want to learn your business. But it starts with firstmates.com to find where you need to go, who you need to work with from our amazing team throughout North America.
Anthony, back when you were talking about all the restaurants, I thought, well, we're going to have to give out some information where they can actually look it up. So
all right. Well, I guess we do. You're right.
Yeah.
Very, very similar to John. I'll give you the two access points. Cruisingpower.com, which is all three of our brands within the Royal Caribbean Group: Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Silversea. You can access everything that you need to help sell our brands. You also can locate your sales manager through that portal as well. Additionally, loyaltyalways.com, that is Royal Caribbean International specific, and promotional marketing, that's where the digital asset library lives as well. And, we are really proud of the fact that we have the largest sales force in the industry, both physically face-to-face. So everybody that's listening to this call right now, or this video right now, has access to a local strategic account manager and or a business development specialist, which is part of my team based in the Miami office. And we are here to serve you with all of your sales needs, support needs. We're here for you 100%.
But you both forgot one more place. This panel, you go right to your booth. And so
good point.
That's very true.
Yes.
Right. So immediately stop watching this video, go to the booth, and have these in your back pocket so you can visit the
Correct.
Gentlemen,
Absolutely.
thank you very much. Very informative, a lot of fun.
Alan,
Thanks,
thank
Alan.
you. We appreciate it, John. Always good seeing you, man. We'll talk
Always
to you
a pleasure,
soon.
Anthony.
All
And
right.
Cheers.
this
Take
is
care.
Alan Fine for Virtual Roadshows and Insider Travel Report.